Alright, trying out the don't say anything. Totally not working today. Bruce sits. Megan. Rango sits. Rango. Rango sits. Sits. Sit. This is not working today. Lucy sits. Lucy. Yeah, Jerry's like, let's just go. All right, so our maid's right outside anyway. They want to see her. There she is. Yeah. And this Jerry loves her. That's Jerry's favorite. He doesn't even care about me. All he cares about is our maid. Salut. He's so happy. Alright, so Jerry's not with us, so this could be a much more peaceful walk. He totally loves our maid. Like, he just waits for her, and as soon as she shows up, someone said don't call her a maid, call her a housekeeper. I don't know why. Whatever, housekeeper. Anyway, she's part of the family. Like, she's every birthday party, everything. She celebrates her birthday with us. Like, she's been with us for like 6 years. She actually said she's getting kind of old. She doesn't really want to work that much anymore, but she loves being with our family so much. She loves our son so much that until our kids leave the house, she's going to be our maid. So that's quite typical here in Mexico. So many wonderful people, and so Jerry just loves her. Like, he's with her all day. He's exhausted. By the time she leaves around 5 in the afternoon, he's exhausted. He just sleeps until basically she comes back, because he literally follows her around the house everywhere she goes. He thinks it's all a big game, like, which is sweeping stuff. He thinks it's like a game. He's playing with her. It's pretty funny. And for people out there, I mention a lot how cheap it is here in Acapulco. It's generally about $12 a day. You pay sort of general workers like that. But we pay her quite a bit more just because we think she's awesome. Like, she's literally part of the family. So she actually lives a pretty good life here in Mexico, which is great. So I want to talk about how everything's a lie. And I'm not even going to get into some of the bigger lies yet, because I don't think people are ready for them. Let's just get into all the smaller lies first. Man, where do you even start, right? Like, everything is a lie that we've been told. History is a good place to start, because that's, so yeah, it's a big topic. There's so many lies in it. Where do you even start with where it's basically all lies. There's that saying that the victor writes the history books, and that's totally true. And that's essentially what's been going on. But the victors, generally, these people who control the world, these sort of globalist, satanic, Freemason, Jesuit, Catholic Church, royal family, bloodline sort of people. They've been really controlling the world for, it looks like, millennia. It's definitely centuries. And so they've been they made up, like, it's really like, they just made up what they want us to think is going on. So, and this goes all the way, this goes to even like what life is, right? You know, they're like, oh, so yeah, the Earth is like 6 billion years old, or 6.8 billion or something. Like, it's some exact number. So yeah, really? How do you know that? Science. Oh, what kind of science? Well, we kind of like made up this thing where we said if you look at some light, it tells you how old it is. There's no way to actually prove this or anything. Anyway, you just believe it because it's science. And yeah, so there was 6.8 billion. So what was here before? Well, nothing. It was just a big explosion. Oh, how did it explode? Well, it just happened. That happens sometimes. And then everything was here. Oh, so then the Earth was here? Yeah, but it was just like a rock. Didn't have any water. Oh, where'd the water come from? Oh, from comets. Well, how do you know that? Science. Really? So where did the water on comets come from? Isn't it pretty, like, Like, it makes like no sense, right? But science believers, oh my gosh, if you tell them that you think that might not be the case, they go crazy because they're brainwashed. It's basically a cult, scientism. It's not Scientology, that's different. Although scientism is actually much more dangerous than Scientology, much more dangerous. And they have their priests, they're puppets, just like in statism they've got their Donald Trumps and their Putins. In scientism, they got way stupider puppets. Neil deGrasse Tyson, Neil disgrace Tyson, really, and Bill Nye the Science Guy, which a lot of people have already started to figure out is a total joke. They're pushers for the agenda, and just total jokes. But some people actually believe it. Like, some people are big fans. Those are the science guys. They tell us what to believe about science. And so, yeah, like, where to even start? Start with how the world was created, right? That's a pretty good place to start. I'm not saying I know. I definitely don't know. But oh yeah, we know exactly. It's 7 billion years. That a Ben? Bruce? Lara. Muy bien, Lucy. Muy bien, Bruce. Muy bien, Rango. Yeah, and then, well, where did us humans come from? You know, where did even consciousness come from, you know? Because science likes to act like it doesn't exist. Like, you know, everything's just, you know, numbers and math equations, and it's all just explosions. And your thoughts and all that, that's just, you know, we don't really talk about that because then we'd have to admit that everything we're basically saying is wrong. But yeah, so they say, where did human come from? And they're like, oh, it came with like bacteria, basically. Survival of the fittest. And you know, bacteria eventually just, you know, started swimming, and they started walking, they started flying. And then we eventually, after a while, like, we were rats and we were all these things. It was amazing. Our family history is amazing. We're everything. And there's no evidence of this at all, by the way. Just like with the Big Bang or anything, there's no evidence. There's not one evidence of one creature ever been found that was like what they call the missing link of any species, not even humans, anything. Nothing has ever changed into another species. This is pretty common sense when you look at things. For whatever reason, it just is not possible. But now they're like, no, we came from, you know, we were frogs for a while, and then we were, you know, all this stuff. We were monkeys eventually. Oh, really? And then we became what we are now. It's like, well, why are there still monkeys? And they're like, well, so, you know, some monkeys just decided to stay monkeys. And they're still monkeys. Even though, you know, eventually they'll turn into humans, but it takes a while. Like, are you serious, bro? Like, people say this out loud? But hey, that's what they teach in the schools. Well, let's talk about schools. Government indoctrination camps. Just meant to turn people into slaves, memorizing wrong information. That goes back to the history part. So now we're at the part of, well, there's humans because we came from rats. So what's our history as humans? Well, these pyramids, pretty interesting. Don't really know how that all happened. We won't even talk about that too much. Anyway, so we kind of maybe came from Africa or something. And then basically there was, you know, Napoleon and all this kind of stuff. And all the good guys won, and now you're part of the good guys. And yeah, you know, all those wars is all for good. All the millions of people slaughtered, tortured, raped, killed. It was all, you know, fighting evil. Yeah, talk about any war. Where do you want to start? Goes all the way back to, I think, the Spanish War or something was fake. The World War I was, yeah, it's funny what they say, what started it. It's like the Archduke, somebody got assassinated, and so everyone just started killing each other. Really? There's all kinds of evidence that most of those people didn't really want to. In fact, they tried to like stop fighting on like Christmas Day, and they were forced to fight. They didn't even know why they're fighting. Even to this day, if you ask anyone, well, the Archduke. So anyway, everyone just started killing each other. Oh, really? Yeah. Good story, bro. And then World War II, of course. Long story though. I don't even want to get into it. I'm tired of talking about all this crap. Vietnam War, Gulf of Tonkin. Then, of course, we know Iraq was weapons of mass destruction lie. They are, the U.S. Department of Defense is the weapon of mass destruction. Then, of course, 9/11, false flag, to get into Afghanistan and now Syria, now Libya. It was all planned. General Wesley Clark talked all about how he's told the plan a few days after 9/11. They already had it all. They had the Patriot Act already written. This is all pre-scripted. This is factual. This is like you can look this stuff up. So yeah, everything is a lie. Absolutely everything. And like I said, I haven't even started to go into. I won't even go into some of the much less known rabbit holes, because I just don't think at this moment in time people are quite ready yet. I think we got to keep pushing them down. Like some people still think 9/11 was done by people in caves in Afghanistan, right? So we still got some work to do. A lot of people still believe in statism. They still believe the only way is through violence and slavery. They believe in slavery. So we need to get them off of that. Some people still believe war is good. You know, got to get them off of that. There's so many things. Wake them up to how the financial system works. The Federal Reserve is a scam. Everything's a lie. But they're not even ready for the big stuff. I'll get into some of the bigger stuff. I might go over a few of the big scams in the next few weeks. But like I said, I don't really want to go too far too quickly at this moment in time. Even already what I'm saying to some people sounds crazy, right? What, you don't believe that there was nothing 6.8 billion years ago and now there's everything and you know that's just the way it is? No, I don't. You don't believe we were rats? No, there's no evidence. You know, but people think already, like I'm already crazy, right? Well, I don't care if they think I'm crazy or not. That's not the issue. The issue is take it a step at a time, sort of. It's an awakening going on. This is, I don't know what's going on, but that whole Mayan 2012 thing, some people actually think, and this was said before, that they got the leap years a bit wrong, and the Mayan thing was actually like last year or this year. But even if it was 2012, a lot has really changed. A lot of people have woken up since 2012. Like I've seen it personally. I remember when I used to talk about how 9/11 was an inside job, almost everyone thought I was nuts. And now it's like hardly anyone says anything. They're like, yep, of course. I used to say how the global warming hoax, I bring the man-made global warming. It's a total scam. And I used to say that, and almost everyone would jump on me like, you're crazy. How could you? Al Gore has his hockey stick chart. How could you possibly? It's like, whoa. And now it's like almost everyone. It's like 98% of people don't believe in it or something. That's why they had to drop it. They had no luck with that one. Especially because the weather hasn't complied, hasn't helped. It's gotten cooler and cooler in most places. It's getting like, you know, record ice. Every time they try to go and prove like global warming is real, their ships get stuck in ice, and then their icebreakers get stuck in more ice. It's like this happens all the time. Global warming conferences are almost always canceled by severe hail, snowstorms. You know, I think it almost makes you wonder if like isn't it some supernatural thing involved here, like God sort of related level Like, yeah, let's have a snowstorm today at the global warming conference, because it happens. Like, it's a well-known thing. It's called the Al Gore effect. So many of them had just been canceled. People couldn't even go to it because the roads were closed. So people are waking up. So I brought up the Mayan thing. There's a lot of the hippies talk about Age of Aquarius. That's supposed to be around now. I've seen all the numbers. It's supposed to be like maybe it was 30 years ago, maybe it's now, whatever. But they talk about how there's this awakening. The more Christians, people, Bible sort of people, talk about the lifting of the veil. That's basically what Revelation is. You know, there's so many different ways to look at it, but there's definitely something going on. And if you just look at it just from like not even thinking about those sort of things, but just what's actually going on, you know, the Gutenberg press really changed the game. And we really don't know what was going on hundreds of years ago. We really don't. Everything's a lie. Like, we have no idea. Or I don't. Maybe someone does. I don't. Like, we don't even know what happened with those pyramids. That was something that's going on there. And they're like, no, it's just, you know, a bunch of slaves built it over hundreds of years. It's like, and that was pretty advanced intelligence back then. So yeah, we really don't know what's been going on or anything, but there's something going on. So the Gutenberg press was like sort of like the first like ability of humans to communicate without the control system being able to stop them. And that changed a lot. That's how we're sort of talking on all these smartphones and stuff today. I'm not saying it's all good. This technology can be used for good or evil, but you know, we're obviously trying to use it for what we think is good. And obviously it has provided a lot of really interesting capabilities to people that we never had before. There's no way I could do this little walk with this, you know, great stable camera, beautiful HD, fire this off for free to everyone in the world who wants to see it. They can watch it within minutes of me getting back. That's amazing. You know, this used to take, just for this video alone, would be like a 4-man film crew all walking backwards for like half an hour, tripping over stuff. And now you just have the technology just to do it. For people who don't know, I'm using a Osmo DJI mobile. It's basically a gimbal stabilizer for your mobile phone, so that's why it's not bouncing all over. Really cool stuff. And of course, then the internet came out. And that was a super game changer, because the Gutenberg press was one way. So someone could put their ideas out there, but no one else could really respond to those ideas. The internet's like exponentially bigger than the Gutenberg press because it's two-way and it's instantaneous. You don't have to carry physical books around and go, hey, I just walked this over 500 miles so you can have a bit of knowledge. Now it's like, enter, boom, anyone who wants to see it can. So we're in this like amazing new time, and we're just starting to see the real benefits of it now. Seeing people really waking up, because we're getting access to some information. We're getting access to different viewpoints as well, but not just viewpoints, but actual evidence. So all the stuff that I've been talking about so far, there's all kinds of evidence that we wouldn't have known about if we didn't have the internet. You know, it wouldn't have been so easy to find out this information. But thanks to the internet, we got people working, like literally millions and millions of people looking into this stuff, and they're like, hey, I just found this, and like, you know, the Congress declassified documents like Gulf of Tonkin or whatever, like stuff like we don't have to do it ourselves, and we can just, once we find out about it, we can all share it. And it's like, okay, so they actually did plan that attack on a US ship on purpose to get themselves into the Vietnam War to go and do a terrorist attack and murder of like millions of people. No one seems to care in the US, but they're all brainwashed. But you know, we're at an amazing time where all this stuff is being exposed. And like I said, we haven't even started. If you think what I've said so far is extreme, this is like the primer version for babies about what's really going on. This is nothing. over time, I'll get through all the stuff that I've found, all the thoughts I have on what's going on, because a lot of it is speculation, of course, you know, what life is, of course. But there is, you know, enough evidence of stuff to really give it some good thought. A lot of this stuff. But, yeah, basically everything that you think you know from, if you learned it from school, government, media, television, movies, I could just tell you right now, it's probably 100% wrong. Except for basic stuff, right? Like basic math. You know, basic reading, writing. But even that, most people don't even know that the English language, where'd that come from? There's a lot of questions about that. It's sort of like a slave language for us slaves. I don't mean like slaves from Africa, I mean we're all slaves now. All with all these double meanings. Like my daughter came in the other day, she speaks Spanish mostly. And she said, she was asking me about one English word, I forget what it was. And I said, and she said, doesn't that word mean this? I said, no, it has double meaning. I said, it also means this. You know, sort of like wake is like after a funeral, wake up in the morning. English language has thousands of these double meaning words. Like no other language I know of has that. And I'm no language expert, linguist, or etymology. I haven't even looked into it. So, you know, I know there's some people out there, they're like, oh, I've studied language for a long time. Well, if you studied in school, it's probably wrong. But, you know, if you've got evidence about whatever, I could be wrong on this. I'm just saying, it looks like the English language was really something quite nefarious, in my opinion. It's all, we use all these words, because words are like spells. Because we actually create our own reality through our energy. And the words we say actually can come into physical manifestation. But the English language has been kind of like brittle with all these like bombs of... Oh, what the hell is that? Oh, a cat. Yeah, Rango. Yeah. Don't chase the cat. There's a little kitty. Yeah. That's all right. So yeah, yeah, everything is a lie. Everything. That's why it's like, you know, when I said get your kids out of school, it's not just because it's a complete waste of time. Ran out of time again here. But they're actually being programmed in there. And most of the information is wrong. Like, for example, if you're in the US, you're going to be learning a lot of wrong information, like how Abraham Lincoln was a hero. Well, you could be a hero if you really believe in evil crap. He killed hundreds of thousands of people who wanted to get away from the land of the free. They said, oh no, he was trying to free the slaves. No, we're all slaves now. He was a total fascist. That's why he sits on giant fasces, his two hands in the Lincoln Memorial. And even in Congress, right behind them is two fasces. The US is a total fascist / communist. It's like the worst. It's like total authoritarian of every way place. But people go, oh no, but I was taught in school we're the land of the free. See, no, you're not at all. And almost every country does that. Canada, I had to go and learn about how great Canada was and how we're better than the US because we have socialized communist style medical death system which kills a lot of people and you can't even really get in anyway, which is actually good. Because most things that most doctors do in most hospitals kill you. They don't help you. So in that sense, the fact that you have to wait a year to get in is kind of good. Although a lot of time people are just like in a lot of pain, and that sucks. But it's actually good that it takes them a while to get it, for the guys with the white lab coats to come around and kill you, which is what they do. Everything is a lie. But the good news is, I saw someone write the other day, and they're like, yeah, once you realize all this stuff, it could be like, your whole life could be turned upside down. It could be like very traumatic. You're like, oh my God, everything I thought was wrong. And he was like talking about how it was like a really horrible, terrible thing for people to have to go through to wake up to this. And I was like, man, I love finding out I was wrong about this stuff. It's like, oh, this is so exciting. Okay, now this makes more sense. I knew there was something wrong with this stuff. So every single time, and this happens all the time, I don't go more than a month or two without finding out like, oh, that was a lie too. And every time I'm like, oh, this is so exciting. And I'll watch like so many videos and I'll read so much, just like trying to figure it all out. So I don't get why a lot of people get really scared. I guess they're too tied into their mind. And this is like what I've been talking about recently. They actually think life is all like real, like, oh, this is so important. It's not. It is not. And, you know, people get really upset. It's like, oh, what if I lose my job? Then I might have to find another job. Or I don't know what they're worried about. Or I might have to go, you know, live in a crappy apartment for a while. It's like, yes, so? What? Who cares? Like, it doesn't matter. Why does this stuff matter to you? It's like, oh, what if I don't get my diploma at this college? Then I won't be a college graduate. So? Like, woo, crazy. Like, insane. Like, they're so, like, they're programmed so much, and they can't realize it yet. And so they get really freaked out when you break their programming. Because they're so invested in it. Because to them, that's security is, well, if I study real hard and go to work every day for 50 years and show up at 9, leave at 5, do what I'm told, even if I hate my job, at the end of it, I can retire, and I'm told this is going to be really good, and I can sit on the beach when I'm 70. It's like, people actually like cling to that, like they want that. Like, that sounds like the worst thing. Like, I would never want to ever have that happen. Keep running out of time. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, see how peaceful it is without Jerry? So I'm running out of time. I only got a couple minutes. I got to figure out what's going on with my storage on my phone. But yeah, everything's a lie. Everything. Like, I didn't even scratch the surface. Everything you've been told about food is a lie. Everything you've been told about health is a lie. Everything you've been told about education is a lie. Everything you've been told about government, of course, is a lie. Everything you've been told about history is a lie. What else is there? I'm trying to think. Whatever it is, I'm sure it's a lie. Everything you've been told about where we came from, what life is, a lie. But it's nothing to get like upset about. It's freaking awesome. Once you realize it, you can just like totally like have a way better life. And you just kind of laugh at all the people who still believe all this stuff. The only thing is, like, sometimes they try to kill you. That's how much the Matrix dwellers really believe and want to believe in their system. So you just try to avoid that as much as possible. Try to live in places. I live in a place where it's all anarchists on my streets, and most people in this area are all anarchists. They all hate the government, and they have no problem with what I'm saying. So I'm all good here. You know, if I was in LA or New York or something, I'd be probably a little more careful about what I say. I'd be so unhappy anyway. I probably wouldn't even want to say anything. I'd just be like doing, you know, antidepressants and drinking and whatever just to get through living around so many slaves. Anyway, I guess that's it for today. Did you guys know everything's a lie? Yeah, we don't care. We just like going for walks. We like eating good food. And we like hanging out and cuddling and sleeping. That's what we like. We don't care. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Why do all these people care about all this stuff? It doesn't really matter. Muy bien, Lara. Muy bien, Lucy. Muy bien, Bruce. Muy bien, Rango.